Hi, this is a screen recording of my own personal website, a2zCribbage.com. I built the site myself from scratch, um, and I'm not a designer, but I did all the graphics as well. So take the graphics with a grain of salt, since I'm not a professional. But I thought this was a good way to show kind of some of my thought process and thinking as it comes to um, homepage, landing pages, um, conversion funnel, that type of thing, and then some get into a little bit of user experience as well. So this is the homepage. It's a cribbage website. Cribbage is a card game played with a deck of cards and a board. And this is a site where you can go and play that game online. So I've got main kind of branding logo in the standard kind of stuff in the upper left hand corner, and then main headline. When you're first starting out, I think you want to be very functional with your headlines and your bullet points. Um, you know, Tell the user sort of exactly what the site and service does as soon as possible. As you grow bigger, and there's more awareness of what you are, and more people are coming to you sort of knowing what you do, then I think you can be a little less literal and a little bit um, more sort of from a bigger picture kind of mission statement kind of a place. But I think starting out, you want to be sort of as literal as you can be to sort of convey the value prop and the message as soon as possible. Um, you know, uh, then sort of three bullet points here, which sort of highlight kind of the core features of the service, um, and sort of the things that distinguish this service from existing services. In the case of my site, the software is written entirely in JavaScript. And so a lot of the other sites that allow you to play this game are written in Java. You need to download an applet or something, something of that nature in order to play. Um, and so there's no need for that here. And then you can set your own preferences, which is not something offered by other sites as well. Um, so just kind of want to call out the highlights of the service. And then there's a lot of kind of social proof. I think is sort of important when starting out, right? Be it quotes from PR, press type stuff, or in this case, I have sort of three kind of social things going on here. One is to just kind of show the size of the site, right? Like, even if it's not a huge number to start with, you want to sort of show proof that other people are using the site. So there've been 58,000 games played on my site. And so I just picked a few stats that sort of show kind of the size, and as people come back to the site over the course of months, they'll see this number getting larger and larger and larger, and kind of show growth. And this is it's a legit site. People are really using it. And then I've got sort of latest results to show. Okay, people have been using this quite recently, and kind of transacting and playing on the site. And then I sent out a customer satisfaction survey after I got the first couple hundred users on the site, um, and just got sort of that initial take on that net promoter score. How are people satisfied with the site? What things could I improve? And then this is a good opportunity to collect a set of testimonials, which I can put on the page as well. And again, sort of that that social proof of, like, don't just trust what I say. Here are, actual, users, with, their specific feedback. And then obviously sort of a big, huge call to action to join the site and start playing. And then for me, once you click join, the actual registration form is really simple. Just entering your email address, a username, and the only reason for having both an email address and a username in my case is that a lot of people like to make up a screen name, and kind of when you're playing sort of on a gaming site, sort of that concept of a username is important in general. I wouldn't suggest having both. It's just that in this genre, it makes sense. Um, and then just really simple, a username and a password, and then just a question about how did you hear about the site, just to understand where I am acquiring users from. I'm not even asking for anything like first name or last name or any of that type of stuff. For me personally, at this point in the growth of this site, everything is completely free, and so I want the sort of barrier to signing up and getting started and kind of experiencing the site to be as low as possible. So I don't want to collect any piece of information that I'm not 100% certain I need in order for the site to function at this point. And then, at this point, I'm just making revenue through donations, and just trying to grow the number of free users I have, just to kind of get market share at this point, and then sort of focus on monetizing the site a bit later. So really simple sign up process, one page, boom, create account, kind of you're done. And then just to sort of show kind of some of the user experience and UI kind of decisions I made sort of within the product. I'll go ahead and sign in here. We'll see if anyone's actually using the site right now. I'll go ahead and sign in right here, and so cribbage is a game where you sit down at a table and you play someone else, and I'm sort of kind of creating the UI to sort of mirror what happens in real life, or sort of to match people's expectations, makes sort of learning the interface easier. So just kind of having, even though sort of having these tables here doesn't sort of serve a lot of purpose, it mirrors what you see when you're playing the game, like face-to-face live, and so it makes sort of learning the interface a little easier, because the natural instinct is, okay, I need to sit down in a chair in order to play the game, so you just click on a chair. Start the game. Here's the interface. There's a board in the middle. It's got each of the two players' names and their ratings, how many games they've won, the score. There's a deck of cards over here. There's sort of a messaging section. I've come up with sort of a color scheme where anything in yellow refers to you, anything in white refers to your opponent, right? So the sort of that use of color to sort of show differences there. Any actions I don't really want the user to take but need to provide just to have sort of a complete service are kind of far away from the main area where the user interacts. There's a chat window, etc. So you go ahead and cut the cards. Your opponent, in this case I'm just playing the computer, so then it deals out the cards, and I can just go ahead and play a game. So in this case I discard cards, and then the way this game works is that you play the cards back and forth and try and score points. So a few things to note, like there's call to action right here in between the sets of cards. Just things like I had to like test and kind of play around with it and get user feedback. I originally had this call to action up in the middle between the board, and people weren't noticing it here, so it made more sense to kind of put it down in this main area. I didn't have tried to make the sort of relative size of things. This number is quite important in the flow of the game. The score is quite important, so I try to make those sort of larger visually than things like the resign or the chat window. And then just trying to kind of have like that nice kind of clean as possible interface, something that kind of fits all on the same screen, so you don't have to scroll, obviously, because you're playing and interacting with this game, and kind of wanting to focus on that. And so that's kind of a tour of sort of some of the kind of visual stuff that I've done from an acquisition and just a user experience perspective on my own website.